Here. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, impromptu, little sudden, sure. Netflix buys DC, which is Warner Brothers, Discovery. Everyone was caught off by that. My wife is actually the one, to her credit. I was in the middle of some stuff at work. She texted me and it's like, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. It's a big deal for entertainment, and it's a big deal for us as fans. And for me, as a Batman fan. Also, I want to talk about briefly like some of the IPs that would be affected by this, what your thoughts are. I've put a call out to some of the pop modics and fans of the channel, so feel free to join me if you're able to. So feel free to have some folks in here. Also, just to kind of kick things off a little bit, and I'll bring this up again later for anybody listening. Uh, Crossed over 4,000 subscribers. The view count has been very solid. Not something I feel like I'm tooting my own horn about. Kind of fell into this accidentally with some stuff that I'd done with Talk Hard Prep. And it's been good for the channel. It's bringing a lot of new folks. So if you're new, I'd love to hear from you and come by and say hi. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about things, what you want to see and do out there. Someone who's not a stranger. He's out there. Hold the door for everybody. Snorty's here. Snorty, my brother. Hope you're doing well, man. And door's always open for you, man. If you want to actually kind of stick your head in and say hello, feel free anytime. Anytime you let me know. So, but yeah, the channel's gone well. Headed into the holidays, it will be a little crazy because I had a couple weeks off at the end of the month around Christmas and New Year's. So you'll see things kind of quiet down on that. But you also see some clips, commercials. You guys love some of that nostalgia stuff as we kind of look at forward to what we should and shouldn't do headed into 2026. So, but let's not hide the lead here. Let's get to what we're going to talk about. And that is the big news of the day. And this is actually from Netflix themselves. They say Netflix to acquire Warner Brothers following the separation of Discovery Global for a total enterprise value of 82.7 billion, equity value of 72. All right, there you go. They've got the information here. And says today, Netflix Incorporated and Warner Brother Discovery Incorporated announced they have entered into a definitive agreement under which Netflix will acquire Warner Brothers, including its film and television studios, HBO Max and HBO. I think there is a part that needs to be really fleshed out here. That's very interesting. That Netflix really could be ramping up their ability to make higher quality and better and a more theatrical footprint for releases. Because really, they kind of put stuff in theaters for award season, get stuff qualified for Oscars, very niche films, dramas, biopics, things of that nature, but not big tentpole things. Like I actually made the case when I reviewed Extraction 2, felt like they kind of left money on the table by not putting this in theaters. It felt like a fun little action movie. They easily could have drew tens of millions of dollars by dropping in there. Hemsworth is very solid in these little films. And yeah, should there be a third one? Maybe this acquisition would help solidify their ability to do that. It would also call into question what current projects at Warner and Discovery do they have in the works that would be on the chopping block. So we'll talk about that as well. So my Talk Hard brethren is in the house. There you go. Ironcaster is saying hello. At this point, I'm just sitting back to watch the chaos of it all unfold as Hollywood loses its collective shites. Yeah, it is. So if we were on the clock, it's a little hard to imagine life that we would be in a place where it's Amazon, Disney. It's just kind of messed up. So kind of hard to imagine. Kind of really weird. So we'll definitely talk about it more. And I get it, Ironcaster. I get it. Sit back, kind of see what kind of happens. So, hey, Vex. Vex is in the house. Great to see Vex. If Netflix gets this, does it mean we might actually get the canceled Batwoman movie? Oh, but the Batgirl movie? Well, I mean, 100% possible if it's there. The stories, the insider stories are that they literally like melted down the discs. Like there's no evidence of it. Like the only way to legally write it off the way they did was to make sure nothing would ever come to light. So I'm not sure that's totally true. This is all insider stuff. It could be. It would seem like something you could do. Like I don't understand why Disney continues to run it because they don't really have an allegiance to Lucas. So why run away from like the Star Wars holiday special? They should just make it an event and do things with it. But Yeah, Netflix is an interesting home for a lot of that Warner content. So we'll see how that shapes up. So for sure. Yeah, froze again. I know I'm having issues. That's another reason why I wanted to stream, guys, because I recorded with someone and the audio didn't work, and it's just frustrating. So I don't know which piece of equipment may or may not be working. It is supposed to rain for the next 2 days, so it's going to be really hard to do content anyway. But hopefully, I can go and unfreeze and be back again. Thank you. Hey, Zax, how you doing, brother? How are things up in the Great White North, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. So sorry about that, folks. Joker is in the house as well. Great to see you, my friend. Here in the news, in the world of pro wrestling, AEW number 2 promotion is in media deal with the WBD. WWE is shown internationally on Netflix. Where does this all go? Where does it land? That is actually a really big positive, I would think, in the deal, right? To create even more resources, cross pollination, a bigger footprint. Yeah, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I don't know. Do you think it's good, Joker? Do you think that could be a positive or not? Yeah, I don't know. You're my expert on that kind of stuff. So let me get back to the presser for a little bit here. It talks a little bit about cash stock, talks about the equity value because of that stock price. Transitions expected to close because of the separation of the Discovery Global, which is now its own publicly traded company. So this doesn't really include Discovery Channel, doesn't include Discovery products. Is from the way this is written, because Discovery will be its own thing. It does bring together two pioneering entertainment businesses combining Netflix innovation, global reach, best-in-class streaming service with Warner Brothers' century-long legacy of world-class storytelling, beloved franchises. So this is interesting because I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. So it lists some of those big IPs, some of the big valued things. It's funny that Big Bang Theory is listed first. I laughed. I laughed that I saw Big Bang Theory listed first. Now, I will say the reason to me that is because for a long time, Big Bang Theory has been syndicated and streaming on multiple services. So it carries a value in their world. Like that makes more sense than, hey, by the way, the most important thing in the plate is Big Bang Theory. Sopranos, which of course is sort of undervalued in a lot of ways. Game of Thrones, Wizard of Oz, the DC Universe will join Netflix extensive portfolio, including a list of some of the stuff that they like, which sounds, again, think about this from the point of view of what we're actually talking about. Sopranos, Game of Thrones, Wizard of Oz, and DC, and DC's fair, compared to Wednesday, Money Heist, Bridgerton, Adolescence, and Extraction. Now, I'm not trying to diss the Netflix shows that are mentioned there, the Netflix movies that are mentioned there, but I mean, Wizard of Oz, Sopranos, Game of Thrones, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of money being spent to really upgrade the old encyclopedia, the old resume banks there. So, some of the meltdowns around this news is funny because it seems like a lot of people don't understand why Netflix was able to thrive so well. I still don't think people get it. I have to be honest. I went like, the Netflix time is over, especially as other streaming services are coming online. They had massive libraries to pull from. And I thought, we'll see Netflix kind of deteriorate. Netflix at this point feels like it's just on autopilot for everybody. I feel like they just have renewed subscriptions. They auto renew, nothing changes. I'm not sure what they watch, what they don't watch. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. It is interesting. I I'm not really plugged into all of the meltdown stuff. So if you do, if my boss pop in, share that to me for sure. So oh yeah, they're making their scissor references. Yeah, I'm definitely a big, I was definitely in on that at the get go back in Loki's day. So uh I got a bit of time here if you want to drop me a link. Yeah, I will do that. I will send I'll put a link out. So let me do that too while we're chatting real quick. I will throw that in there for all of you Popmatics. Yes, all the insiders get that link here. So let me do that real quick here, and we'll see how that goes. So let me get on a little bit more, and I'll bring folks in as they drop in. The quote here, this has come from Ted Sarandos, the co-CEO. Our mission's always been to entertain the world by combining Warner Brothers' incredible library of shows and movies from timeless classics. He mentions Casablanca, Citizen Kane, modern favorites like Harry Potter and Friends, culture-defining titles like Stranger Things, K-pop Demon, all the stuff on Netflix, right? The acquisitions is Greg Peters. He talks about improving our offering to accelerate business for the next decades to come. So they're in it for the long haul. Their valuation definitely came at it from that point of view. Zaslav kind of see what he says here for more than a century one versus yeah he just yeah they cashed out, man. What a big money grab for them. Huge money grab for them. Think about that. Like they just dropped Superman in. We're all told how great Superman is and how much money and blah 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 blah. Oh man, Superman seemed like it was just a wet fart in a lot of ways, and definitely didn't feel like it would cash in what they needed it to cash in as. But let's see what this lady has to say. Let's see what Vex, my friend. What is going on? How you doing, lady?
Pops, it's been so long.
You know where I'm
Oh
at, baby.
my
Always
gosh.
welcome for you. It's so great to have you and spend time with you. What's going
Oh,
on?
it's the pleasure is all mine. I'm editing. I just finished editing when I
Hmm.
saw your message in the group, and I was like,
Yep.
I would love to talk about about this with someone sane. So,
Yeah, I was yeah, working and something popped up and Mrs. texted me about it. And I was like, that is big news. And I didn't even get to like where my hot take is, where I was really emotionally hit by this. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm having all this. I mentioned it earlier. I'm having equipment issues and whatever. So you know what? If I live stream, everyone will tell me what's working, what's not working. So I can almost help troubleshoot problems that I'm having, folks. Yeah, and you know what? I have a lot to celebrate and say thank you to folks because I don't know how things will go the next few weeks, but I'd say thank you to folks. I did cross 4K. I'm getting.
yeah, yeah. I think you cut out again for a second there.
I did. I think I did. I think I blinked, blippity blooped. Let me turn my camera off. That'll probably help.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about your first impression of hearing this news.
Uh, First impression, because it was down to Netflix and Paramount. Last week
Hmm.
was the. I mean, I have a little. Paramount's been doing, I would argue, like some of the content Paramount is putting out has been pretty good for the most, but that's mostly because Taylor Sheridan is there. Netflix, I would be worried about how they would handle WB properties just because their entire business model is based off of watch time and clicks. The quality of their content doesn't actually matter. Their entire goal is to just have you watching for as long as possible. So that's why we get like what seems like a lot of just kind of like content for the sake of content because they know that it generates clicks and viewership. So I would be worried that with some of the stuff that Netflix acquires, we won't be getting anything good out of it necessarily because they'll just use it to feed their business model. But at the same time, I like that Netflix is a little more open with what they choose to acquire and broadcast. So like there's a benefit there, but I am also I don't know how I feel about Netflix gaining that much power over
All right.
streaming.
Yeah, I agree with that latter part for sure. That's definitely a
Mhm,
big concern. Let me get Joker Voice is hopping in here too. He also had
mhm,
this take about wrestling. Let's get that in there.
mhm.
How you doing, my brother? How are
Hey,
things?
Joker.
Hello, my scissor sister. It's so good to see you. It's been too long, my dear.
Far too long.
I know it has been. I've actually, true story, at the Vegas meetup, Vex and I presented our good friend Roman with his own pair of
We did.
scissors.
That's awesome. Yeah. I forgot to get him and send him some rainbow scissors. Is what I meant to get him for transplants. Yeah. Uh, Explain this wrestling take you have, brother, because this is an interesting aspect of the deal
Mhm,
that would not be something I would know anything about, and probably is a very lucrative element in this deal.
Right. So right now in the United States, you're talking about three major companies. You've got the WWE, of course, which is the biggest wrestling promotion in the world. Number two is AEW, and you've got a third one, TNA, which just recently signed a new media, media rights deal with AMC.
mhm,
So you've got the WWE, which is in a partnership. A partnership. It's a loose. It goes the one way. WWE just basically raids their talent when their contracts are over to bring them over to them. But AEW just a year and a half ago signed a 3-year deal with a fourth year option with Warner Brothers Discovery. So their linear TV shows are on TBS and TNT. Their pay per view events are also streamed on HBO Max.
mhm.
So WWE in the last year and a half has got their fingers in almost everything now, where their primary is with Netflix. So in the United States, you see Monday Night Raw on Netflix.
Right.
Internationally, you see everything. That is Raw, SmackDown, NXT, every premium live event is shown on Netflix. This is a 10-year, $5 billion deal that they're in. They just recently signed a deal with ESPN Disney, 5-year, $1.7 billion deal for the United States to hold all their premium live events.
Wow.
Their other brand, their third brand, NXT, is with the CW for 5 years. SmackDown is on in the United States with USA Network for another 5 years. They show other premium live events for NXT and Saturday Night's Main Event on Peacock, which is Comcast. They're owned by a company called TKO, which also owns the UFC, which just signed a 7-year, $7.7 billion deal with Paramount Skyline, well, Skydance. So if the WWE just kind of has their fingers in everything, and they're making it once this media rights deal with Warner Brothers and AEW expires, which they're going to start renegotiating that deal very soon, like within the next 12 months. Are are they going to keep the two companies in there, or are they going to keep the one where they've got a 10-year deal with, and if they drop AEW has almost nowhere to go.
Yeah, this deal seems like it gives them the leverage to negotiate that deal to their advantage and get AEW in quickly and easily, and broadens the footprint rather quickly, and
Uh,
it's really interesting because it's not a piece of the deal that most
no,
people will be aware of and talk about, and I'm
right.
glad.
Well, it's an odd thing because Netflix they're buying their studios and their studio IP stuff, and that is HBO Max. From
Mhm.
what from what I've heard, they're not purchasing the linear networks, which is TBS and TNT. So that puts AEW in kind of a weird spot.
Hmm, okay, okay. uh Vex, earlier you talked about how Young Sheldon was this massive streaming success for Netflix for a long time. I kind of ditched on Young Sheldon, so I'm not even aware of the. But it was fun to listen to the presser, and they list Big Bang Theory first. So it was like they're very aware of the mass appeal of some of these shows, like you
Yeah.
said, just getting clicks and massive amount of watch time where people just turn it on and they just run episode to episode to episode. There's a lot of Warner content that feeds that beast for sure,
Right.
right? Like Sopranos and Game of Thrones seem like a perpetual forever, time suck of people's, eyeball time. So it does feel like that is one of the mass appeals from the older content, right? Rather than new content generation.
The Netflix is like probably I think that's the number one streaming app in the world behind like Spotify,
YouTube as
like
well.
and YouTube. There we go. So I guess when it comes to strictly like entertainment services, then Netflix is at number one. But if they were to acquire WB, then that means Disney and Netflix would basically own all of the streaming stuff. Because I don't really count Paramount because no one gives a fuck about Paramount or Peacock. Like those are generally services that people will tune into when they get a free subscription for it or it's
Prime
at a really good deal because they
and
don't
also
have
and also Prime as well, which most folks have Prime. They just don't know they have Prime Video because they just
right.
for the
So
shipping
I'm
cost.
yeah, I don't know. That's my biggest concern because I think we've seen in other industries, I'm thinking like gaming specifically, that when you get a monopoly over certain things, creativity really dwindles, and WB is already in like a creative drought that it's it just might I don't know. We'll see what happens because I did see some updated news that Paramount and Skydance are now looking to counterbid again with an all cash offer rather than a mostly cash offer, which is what Netflix offered.
Well, yeah, and then but most of that cash is from the Saudis.
Yes.
Well, and I got to be honest, and I think Joker might have even been on with me when we talked about one of my streams where we were talking about I expected the streaming wars to just be a consolidation thing at some point. And I'm
Yep.
actually shocked that it took this long. I actually am shocked that Paramount, Peacock even exist. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm the only one that's probably doing regular reviews about stuff on Paramount, and it's just because they actually do at least deliver reasonably entertaining shows, even if they
Mhm.
are kind of a letdown relative to their potential. And it is interesting to know that it only takes a merger like this, something big like this, to get a big news story to make the rest
Mhm.
of the world realize, hey, by the way, we could have antitrust violations and there's only two or
You
three
think?
companies and blah, blah. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party.
Yeah,
Uh,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to throw it to you and say, don't you think it's interesting that while we're kind of more attuned to that, but what you were saying earlier about like some of that streaming stuff and the prices, and it takes news like this to kind of waken up the normie to, hey, by the way, does this mean my price will go? I kind of expect Netflix now could almost get away with creating yet another tier or like a Uber tier that includes the wrestling, it includes some more pay stuff, it includes, you know what I mean? Like there's so much more that comes over with Warner that's
Right.
way beyond the scope of what they have right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think I was talking with this with like the cannoli and the guys, and they're just like, oh, $40 for Netflix. And then I was thinking, like, you know what? I don't agree with the price that Netflix is at before or any of these streaming services because I'm in agreement with you. Like, I'm surprised it took this long for all of this consolidation to happen because 15 years ago when Netflix was starting to actually blow up, people were like, "Oh, well, streaming services are just going to become cable and you're just going to have cable like streaming packages for everything and you'll pay a premium for those." Um oh god, what was the point? Oh yeah, he was worried about, "Oh, Netflix will cost $40." And I was like, with all of the stuff that WB
that's
would
that's
offer,
that's
that's
not a
not
bad
bad.
price. Then that's
Yeah, that's
not a bad price.
not at all. And like I agree with Joker, like, oh, they'll probably introduce, or sorry, Pops. I agree with you that, oh, they'll probably get another tier for like more premium stuff, maybe the live stream stuff, or maybe exclusive,
Sports,
watch.
sports.
Right. There you go. So I don't like, if with the amount of content you're getting and giving the price of some of these other services that don't offer new content on as regular a basis as Netflix does, this is one instance where I can justify a price hike just because of the value I'm getting comparatively.
Right, and just as an example of that, the brand new ESPN, the ESPN Unlimited app,
Mhm.
it's $30 a month, and I got it because it has WWE live events on there. This is what I do. It's kind of a necessary evil
Right.
at this point. But the app itself, the content on it, it's basically Sports Center on steroids because because you get
Hmm.
everything that you would normally get on ESPN plus
Mhm.
ESPN2, ESPNU. You get WWE, and I believe next year they're adding NFL Red Zone, NFL Network
Wow.
for $30 a
That's a
month.
big drop. Yeah, that's
For
a big drop. NFL Network in particular. So
right,
how far have they fallen in a way? So
I mean, but I
yeah,
mean, but still, but I mean, I just know from working in the service industry, bars and restaurants, the NFL Network, that package to get is expensive as heck.
very
Yeah.
expensive. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So Zach, you're transitioning me to a little bit of kind of where I went through a multiple phase reaction to this. Vex and I had similar reactions in some ways. Then I immediately went to, oh, we'll get to the comic books in a minute because that was my gut punch. But then it's like,
Right?
oh, what happens to this guy? James Gunn, does he get a He-Man movie now? Yeah. So I've been railing. I mean, I actually was on Zach's show, I believe live, Zach's, when we had the news about the big thing with James Gunn and some of the stuff happening, and then walking away from, if you remember, it was right after Henry Cavill appeared in the Shazam, the Black Adam movie and whatever. Like, they don't have money for a 10-year plan. They don't have money to restart over again. Where are they
Mm.
going to get all this cash for these grand schemes that they let? So this throws all that up in the air as well. And I'm here for that. That's a grab a popcorn bag for me, Vex. I don't know about you, but I'm like, oh yeah. We melted down the Snyder Bros. We might as well melt down these Gunner fans too, because
Well,
yeah,
I I think it may end up being the the DC the winner is may end up being Matt Reeves.
Well, if it manifests itself, because we still are only like in script development phase and maybe some general casting news, but it's does anyone care enough that I mean, I don't know what the expiration date on those buyouts on those contracts. I've always said it's going to happen. Matt Reeves isn't going anywhere, but at some point there is a buyout. There is a I don't know that Netflix wants to invest, $150 million in another Batman thing with this guy and not know what, I mean, people aren't that thrilled about Robert Pattinson and stuff. So I don't know.
Hmm.
What say
Um,
you, Vex?
I'm not even thinking about the live action movies because Netflix right now is doing so well internationally because of its animation front. So I
Yes,
think
Hmm.
if
yes,
Netflix is going to invest in anything in DC, it's going to be the animated stuff. And the great thing about that is because they have so many deals with all of these international like animation studios,
hmm
you're probably going to get some like semi decent quality animated like Batman or
the Batman
Superman series out of that.
those Batman anime films are great.
They
Right. So
are
I
really
was
good.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that's the bigger draw for Netflix given what is successful internationally on their platform right now.
All right, Zax is just trolling me with this comment, of course, which is totally fair. This is the day. This is the day. This is the day to do it. This is the
Right.
day to do it. Canoli, my brother, he hops in here. He says this will not make DC movies great again. It will not. And in fact,
Well,
Canoli, I know maybe Canoli can't drop it on it, but
oh,
Ironcaster is going to be joining us now.
hello,
How are you
Iron.
doing, my friend?
Hey, dude.
Can you hear us, Ironcaster?
I don't think you can.
Nope.
Nope.
He's staring us down, though. It's
That's
very
a lovely
intense.
look.
It's
He
very
looks annoyed.
intense.
But
He
that's
can't hear
just
you.
getting my.
There. Oh,
Oh,
whoa, whoa.
Ooh,
Dog ears.
Ironcaster is here.
Ironcaster.
Brother, thanks for hopping in. And perfect time for me to ask you, dude, this could literally be the end of DC Comics as we know it. It may now just become a licensing brand because I mean, and we have said many times that may be the best future for comic books in a lot of ways, is to ditch some of the shenanigans that they're doing over there. I don't know. What do you think?
I
Oh,
think
is
he's
he
fixing
freezing
his
up on me?
audio still.
I think he is
All
too.
right.
Now I had heard this. Now the fear was I was watching I was listening to Friday Night Tights, and their concern with DC and Netflix was everything was going to get turned into Sandman, basically.
What does that mean?
There's a lot of race swapping. There's a lot of gender swapping. Very how would I say very LGBT centered content in that
Can
series.
Yeah,
may
they
I
leaned
counter this?
into
Please.
they
Oh,
so I mean
go ahead,
I
boss.
just wanted to
Oh,
I just
there
wanted to
we go.
explain for Sandman in particular. So Sandman has some kind of effeminate and alphabet elements that you could
Yes.
lean into. They just sort of like exaggerated all of that.
Correct.
And DC Comics is renowned right now of doing a lot of that in their pages.
Right.
But I'm talking about actual DC Comics publishing itself. Netflix.
Okay.
Why would Netflix want to deal with any of that mess? I mean, it's a cash suck right now, full of
Gotcha.
a bunch of nut jobs on social media. Very rarely do you get so it feels like Netflix has a great deal with like Mark Miller type stuff and other things that get licensed out and gets
Okay.
published, like Stranger Things comic books, for instance,
Gotcha.
Right.
right? They're not making this. That seems like what I predicted would be the future of comics anyway. At some point, it's like you just can't keep going between public domain and whatever, you know, license
Right.
them out. Let somebody else deal with all the costs and just get a little check the way Sony does for when they license all their crap out. So yeah. Anyway,
Exactly. They
uh,
don't want to do the comics. They want them for the IPs, if anything.
Right.
That because there's so much they have like almost a century's worth of comics that they could mine from. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh. And then on top of that, Netflix has been working with a ton of AI.
Yep.
and the amount of like you guys were talking about, in fact, it was such a great point about their relationships with all of these foreign animation departments and animation
Mhm.
studios and even just foreign production. You know, it is a massive cost reevaluation for what is obviously clearly a big bloated mess over at Warner. There's just no doubt about it. You can't be producing the kind of stuff they've had and not be profitable. It's insane. Let
Mhm.
me say, Cannoli, thank you so much, man. 19 months, 19 months.
Woohoo!
It's train times we've lived
Dang.
in with WB owned by Netflix. Man, I know, brother. I said that at the beginning. Like, it's hard for me to rewind the clock, Cannoli. If we'd said, hey, listen, there'll no longer be an MGM, a Fox, and a WB. We would have been
Right.
like, what kind of crack are you on? Nope, it's happening. And Paramount, really. 'Cause I don't even understand how Paramount Skydance thing will work out, but yeah, it's on the end of its rope too, in some way,
And
shape, or form. So,
and I want to
uh,
just and, and I want to just ducktail on some of that Castor said. The these IPs that they're going to get access to. I mean, it's not just DC Comics. It's the Godzilla MonsterVerse. It's Game of Thrones. It's Harry Potter. These IPs alone are worth it. Just just the amount of
mhm.
content.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just,
Wow,
dear Lord.
you know
Sorry.
that could happen. That could happen.
Apologies about that. I just got the new PC, so I'm
It's a
still
great
getting
moment,
everything
by
set
the
up on
way.
my end.
Oh,
All
you're
right.
good. You're good.
It's so good. So, um, yeah, I think that we were talking about some of those shows, the Wire. These things are just going to be time sucks on Netflix for folks, and that's not a bad thing for their business model and their
No.
thing.
Mhm.
And I think that there is, when you have that many shows that people watch so much of annually, another tiered or multiple, I don't know how many tiers there are on Netflix. I don't know. I get it free because of my son or something. I don't know how it works. I don't pay a nickel to those people, but there's multiple tiers. So I can see another tier in advertise, another way. Now maybe not the $40 tier like you guys were talking about, like the premium all access everything, but even like $20 from, let's say it's 12 to 15, it becomes 20, because then it's like, less commercials for this or that or so, I don't know. But those are the amount of eyes that they will have now running through their service is just going to be remarkable and shocking.
The HBO stuff, especially like you can't get HBO stuff like outside of the US. Like we get it up here in Canada through like a Bell provider called Crave. Like they have a deal with HBO to get their stuff and put it on their app. You can't get HBO Max like anywhere else in the world. So having that on an international platform with HBO's prestige, which regardless of what you think about the quality of their content in the last decade is irrelevant, like that name still carries a lot of bread behind it, so that's a lot of money right there that people would subscribe for.
Yeah, the international market is definitely not something that we talk enough about, because that could be part of their valuation into that they can feel like they would have better relationships overseas and can get
Mhm.
that stuff in front of some different eyes and different subscribers that they don't have now. And then I will say too, on the Warner side, I don't know that it ever really manifested in any success because there's no stores, there's no retail outlets, but they at
Mhm.
least did online drives for some physical media. So
Ye
when shows would end, like Succession,
Mhm.
they gave me a free box set and asked me to promote it. And
Oh,
this, I mean, it
nice.
was they rolled out like an actual press campaign to try to get
Mhm.
some of these different things that they have in their library out there. I don't see Netflix wanting to do that, but that could be something else that they could look into, of having, again, relationships, business opportunities that they don't currently have, and at least could be. I don't know if it's something they own or not, because that it's an asset that could be sold, but it does feel like there's a whole lot of moving parts that don't feel like they're part of Netflix business right now. Let me go back to Ironcast for you as well. Just the concept, Netflix doesn't have any publishing ambitions at all. The idea of nuts and bolts, the DC Comics side has already become like an IP generator only, but also the amount of merch that the DC side generates is phenomenal. I mean, it's insane. Like Batman, Superman stuff is a global merch machine that's on a scale beyond anything Netflix has ever seen.
Well, I was trying to stop and actually think like just how the sheer amount of stuff that they would have access to, and for all the possibilities of remakes and being able to tap into. And I had to pull up like a list of like Warner Brothers 100 years, 100 essentials, and it's full of some really superb films that Netflix would love to do remakes of, yes, the Netflix modern adaptation is the obvious thing, but like we're talking the Iron Giant, Ocean's 11, The Matrix, Rush Hour, Space Jam, Shawshank Redemption, uh, JFK, Goodfellas, of course, Batman, Full Metal Jacket, The Lost Boys, Little Shop of Horrors, The Goonies, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Casablanca.
It's the list just keeps going on.
Yeah, and
National Lampoon.
it's not what we would want to hear them making new versions of, but maybe Joker, Vex. Do you guys know? Do they roll out more like? I mean, because right now it becomes a licensing thing when it's like, hey, now on Netflix, maybe they could roll things that way. Think about just like the old Vault mentality where they roll things out in piecemeal, like here a little of this, a little of that. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Because it's a massive library that comes over.
I was thinking that they'll incrementally put it out. Like I think a lot of streaming services probably learned from the Disney mistake because when Disney Plus launched, they just put everything on in like 4 months, and then they had no content after that, right? So
True story.
it was very hard to justify. Netflix has been very smart with the way they time things. So, like in a month in advance, you get a full list of everything that's dropping, what day it's dropping. The pacing between stuff dropping is enough that like you have consistent users as well. So they know how to pace things out. Just in terms of the media thing, like WB has a massive physical media publishing arm, and they're one of the few distributors that has been like pretty active with putting all of their stuff out on physical media, like not outside of like anniversary windows or anything like that. I do feel that Netflix might be looking to do that because there is more of a demand for physical media evolving again. There's a lot of stuff that they've produced or had licensed to on their platform that isn't available on their streaming service at all anymore. So that's like and even in when it comes to just like merchandising stuff, like Stranger Things alone, the amount of fucking Stranger Things merch you can find everywhere that just sells is crazy. So I think this opens up like a brand new window for trying to get their stuff out there in a physical sense, whether it be through merch or physical media, as opposed to just kind of having to create new wings. Like even on the publishing arm with the comics, I think that's a great way for them because there is still a demand for comic books. Like wherever you go, there's still a niche for that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to read like a Stranger Things spin-off or like Bridgerton. You can publish a whole new series of like Bridgerton stuff with a publishing arm as well. So I just see this as like more opportunities because where else is there to go for Netflix in terms of expanding their company?
Well, the, they're also doing these things called Netflix houses. Like there's one out here. There's one out here in Las Vegas where it's basically like a mini Planet Hollywood, where you've got merchandise and stuff from the sets of like Stranger Things, or now also with the WWE, you've got stuff from like the Wednesday and all these little exclusive merch that you can buy at these locations, and they're just opening up another one, I believe, in Louisiana and one in Philadelphia in the next couple of
Mhm.
months. So it's just even more
Well,
opportunities.
I didn't even know about all that. You need to take your cell phone over there and film some videos for me, man, and get me inside this place because I ain't going to Vegas anytime soon. But I'd love to see what's going on up in there. So you need to do a road show and
Well,
let me know that.
that involves me going to the strip, and that
All
just
right. Well,
doesn't
listen,
happen.
you're doing it for the content. You're doing it for the pops.
Right.
Just saying.
Okay.
You write it
Pop.
all off. Just saying.
Well, the fact I can, the Vex, the Vex and I will go
Uh,
the next the meetup. How about that, Vex?
I'm okay with that.
All right.
I really couldn't agree more. I think that and Stranger Things in particular is going to be this generation's Harry Potter, right? I mean, it's the one they're all going to talk about. I couldn't
Yeah.
Vex. You're right. The merch is absolutely everywhere. It's at every freaking department store. It's been picked through, so kids are buying it. The fact that there isn't already a plan for a like how like they're doing the it thing, right? What's it called? Welcome to Derry.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How is there not already a Hawkins show? Because I always felt like the
Well,
problem with Stranger Things at this point is coming to an end. It still feels very small.
There's a
because it's
stage
only about
show now.
11 whatever. But I feel like, why is there not a plan for something else or
Well,
some,
What
but
was that
yeah.
Joker voice?
they have a stage show now based on Hawkins.
Okay. Man, Joker, you're plugged into all this strange. I need videos on this. I mean, no offense to wrestling, but you can take a week off and catch me up on Vegas and East. We got road shows and
It's
themed houses going on in Vegas.
yeah, it's
Lancaster, we need to make a road trip. Maybe we
Yeah,
shouldn't go to MegaCon after
I
all. Maybe we should go to Vegas.
I've got two things, well, relatively near me that I could probably make the trip for you. So Popcast in the wild. Uh,
Oh yeah, that'd be
it,
great.
it is there was the giant Alfred E. Newman statue in what was that Will Ferrell basketball movie?
basketball. Oh no.
No,
What? Oh God. Uh, so it's just something terrible. I'm just gonna.
Not Tropic Thunder, but it's like
No.
No, semi-pro, right?
Semi-pro. Yeah,
it,
that's it.
they shot part of that in town here. So
Oh
I
wow.
so so the local arena, I think they kind of shut that down so they could go do some of the filming at it. And yeah, in the movie there's this giant statue of like Alfred E. Newman that was like probably from about 10 miles away from the place they brought over for it. But uh but probably the one that was in the news this week, Detroit
Oh, that's
went
right. Yeah.
and finally had the RoboCop statue installed.
Mm-hmm.
It feels weird to see the RoboCop in on display in Detroit, which has become like a wasteland. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy of the RoboCop movie.
I give it a week before someone tries to go and scrap it.
I have a RoboCop story. I don't know if I ever told you this, brother. Worked at the theater and was cleaning and came out and was watching the RoboCop moving display go right out the front doors of the theater and into the back of a pickup truck.
Oh wow.
Yep. Someone stole RoboCop from the lobby, and it was wicked. It was super cool. It was big. It moved. It was right out the front door. Yeah.
Can't have shit in
Yeah.
Detroit.
No, that was in Florida. I can't imagine what happened to the one in Detroit. Yeah. So. This has been an interesting news to evaluate because I wasn't really doing the YouTube thing when Disney bought Fox, and I don't know. I kind of did a little story on the Amazon MGM, but I just kind of covered it briefly. And in hindsight, I'm like, MGM has sort of been swallowed up by Amazon. Like, MGM was kind of a big brand. It's a
Agree.
lot of movies, a lot of stuff. And it feels like it just got sucked into nothingness and it's just oblivion. And they every now and again will try to sell you a streaming, like you said, Aaron Cash, like one of those 100 great MGM movies or something. Well, they gave them to me because no one was buying them. Another one of those press things. Hey, will you talk about these movies and whatever? And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll talk about 20 over the course of a year. They were like, it's good enough, I guess, because they gave it to me. And I'm like, I don't even know that I did more than 10 or 15, but I'm like,
Well,
I don't know.
you know,
I feel like
Pops,
that's the fate of
thing is though,
Warner stuff too, though.
we spend so much time talking about the good movies that I feel like just to have our fun with it, we need to do the opposite. Let's look at what
You just want yourself put in timeout, don't you? You just want yourself
Jeez.
Whoa, yeah, you have you let me finish making the proposal here. My Pops, we should look at some of the worst Warner Brothers movies. I'm talking, of course, Battlefield Earth.
I'm never watching that again.
Why,
I'm not
why?
watching it. Never watched it.
Castor,
Never
why?
watched it.
Castor,
No, I
why?
never watched it. Not
Why?
doing it. Actually, I did. There's like an undone video where me talking about some of the worst of sci-fi type movies like that. I either will never watch or will never watch again, and it was on that list of not happening.
You mean to tell me you don't want to watch Warner Brothers' The Adventures of Pluto Nash?
Oh, I always feel bad for the Pluto Nash movie because that's Ron Underwood, and he was such a nice man to spend time with. But yeah,
I know. Let's watch something good on the list. Wild Wild West.
Wow, he is just on fire.
That's a fun movie. Hold on. I have to stand with Ironcaster here. It's a terrible movie, but it's a fun movie.
It has a giant mechanical spider. Like they
Right.
couldn't make it work for a Superman movie, but we got it with Will Smith.
It's
Yeah, that's-
Kenneth Branagh in a wheelchair with half a body as well. Like
Yeah, It's comedically bad. I mean, I get it, and
And
it
a
is
very
funny because of the
and a very
spider
southern
thing with the
accent.
Superman mythology is what makes it even better. But
So it's ultimately it sounds like pops. We're kind of talking ourselves into watching Wild Wild West.
no, we are not. You were
Yeah.
talking to yourself and Vex about it, evidently,
Sure, wait,
because
wait,
I
wait.
would
Hold on.
love to come on to talk
oh
Wild
dear
West.
lord, they're turning against me, Joker voice.
You
Oh my
know,
gosh.
I I mean,
Look,
if it was
ultimately,
if it was a show, if it was a show that just talked about Salma Hayek in that film, I might join in as well. But other than that, no,
Hmm.
well,
no,
okay, but the most important thing here is the
it's
audience,
Salma Hayek.
and I think Selma Hayek is important, but I think the audience wants to be entertained, and I think the audience
By Salma
wants
Hayek.
to watch us suffer through Wild Wild West. You what? Tell me you don't want to hear Loki going on about the giant mechanical spider. Tell me you don't want to hear Squeaka talking about this thing,
Well, well,
about all the giant robot men.
Vex is just throwing gasoline on this fire too, so I appreciated her
yeah,
coming in
she
and helping
is.
this problem.
Listen,
So
that
yeah,
movie was always on TV when I was growing up, so it has a
yeah,
special place in my heart.
yeah. Oh yeah, my life is good grief at times with Ironcaster in the room. Wait, I'm just saying, it is so true. Oh yeah, Miss Hayek. I know Miss Hayek. Poor Miss Hayek.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. People love to laugh at our expense around here. So
Yeah, you know.
And ultimately, isn't that what we want to do? We want to entertain the audience. This
yeah,
is
my
why we watched Highlander 2 before we watched Highlander.
Oh,
What?
whoa,
Tony.
oh,
The what?
whoa,
So there's a lot
whoa!
more to that story, by
Oh
the way, than just
God!
that. By the way, so
Wow!
so the story was I was never going to watch Highlander 2 again. Highlander was
Oh
set for 2026, which it is coming up. I believe it's in
yeah,
January of
yeah.
2026 for the 40th anniversary. And these knuckleheads sold me on the Renegade cut was better, and I should give it a chance.
Oh no!
I couldn't get it. It's god awful. I got suckered. I got
Oh,
suckered into a
that's
horrible,
just
horrible experience.
sounds
It's one of the
terrible.
ones I almost left the theater back in the day. I sat there
Yeah,
in the theater like, what the heck is going on? And no. So
oh.
Pops, we
let's get
come
back on
from
track.
Zeist.
No, oh yeah, no. Joyce, brother. Okay. Netflix, Netflix a year from now. Because first off, let's set aside all the people who are out there like pushing the antitrust and the Trump people, blah blah. Whatever, dude. Please stop. It's nonsense. This will go through. I mean, I guess there is a chance that the Skydance Paramount thing could get cashed. It's possible. I'd be shocked, but yeah.
Yeah, the, I, the, the fact that the, the fact that that deal is almost completely funded by by the Saudi government gives me pause that would happen.
Mm.
There's just more another no, just more money in the deposit next month. So yeah. So
Right.
a year from now, Vex, let's just assume it goes through. It's fine. What are some of your thoughts and predictions on what Netflix will look like?
Probably a price increase, maybe another tier. The model will stay more or less the same. I think we'll just see more physical releases coming out of Netflix stuff. I don't think a whole lot is going to change. Like it's not going to be anything revolutionary, and I don't think it'll be like the Disney Fox acquisition where Fox just kind of disappears under Disney. I think they're like WB stuff will still be WB stuff.
Hmm. Okay.
I think
What about
long
you, Joker?
term. Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
go ahead, Ironcaster. No, it's okay.
Well, I don't think we're gonna see any significant changes, especially within a year. Like it's gonna take a significant amount of time for these things to unwind. Contracts will have to play out for various movies that are on Warner Brothers, or
Hmm.
perhaps there might be some Netflix uh, show that might have wound its way over to Warner, but due to contractual obligations, these things have to remain there for the duration.
Mhm.
And I think it's ultimately going to be a matter of, well, in a very similar fashion to what we're seeing slowly roll out with Hulu, it is going to take a significant amount of time for this to finally be unwound because this is all going to turn around in a dime. And I mean, on top of all that, how unlucky has the Warner Brothers app been? Like they went through how many name changes now in the last 5 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
It's had at least 3 or 4 different names, and I know because I had a playlist attributed to it, and I constantly have to change the freaking name of the playlist because of these people. So how's that for superficial and selfish with first world YouTuber problems?
And
Uh,
Padawannabe does bring
I
up a really good point
Yeah,
there.
about the gaming.
Exactly, because if you're getting Warner Brothers, you have the studio or the game
Right.
studio.
Yeah.
The funny thing about the because when I saw that the gaming studios were included, I was like, "There's people that left those studios to work for Netflix." Now it's all coming back to them.
oh yeah.
Well, also Warner Games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You got me, Gord. That was a good one. By the way, didn't want to leave that.
Oh
Leave that.
yeah.
That
Zack
was
Snyder
freaking good.
still has a deal with Netflix, so if this goes through, Snyderverse
Oh.
2.0.
Somebody's still paying Zack Snyder.
Oh God. Oh, and then maybe and then if we're lucky, another Rebel Moon film. I mean, if we're lucky.
I don't think Rebel Moon 3 is coming out because it would have come out by now if it were. But like those movies did significant numbers for Netflix. So did Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
Whenever they
What's
had
that?
when they had Man of Steel or whatever, the Snyderverse stuff always produced numbers on Netflix. So
Yeah, it does.
I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to do maybe not continue it, but like re-release it or something like that. Do a special edition, an upscaled version. I don't know.
Anime, Rebel Moon anime.
Mm,
Why not?
No, no, please.
yeah, because yeah.
I won't be shocked by anything out of this deal. I think this is
No.
such a massive one that I'm just going to agree. I disagree with Ironcaster. I don't think it'll be slow. I think it's going to be fast. If once the antitrust stuff goes through and it's legit, they'll go immediately into a plan like Vex did. They'll have a big announcement with this big drop with a ton of WB content drops in, and then there'll be this rotation monthly, every other month or so for certain things as events, and then the game. There's
Oh,
going to let a lot of these things burn out, and I will be here for the day. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. James Gunn will be told that's the end of this whole Gunverse experiment. Thank you for joining us. You can move along now. Yeah, I'll be there for that.
I kind of think that that with this deal set, it's in place to right now, and this is going to take about 12 to 18 months to get through all the legalese of it and everything. They've already got their minds set on, okay, we're going to cut this, we're going to cut this, we're going to cut this, we're going to cut this. So I've like Castro said earlier that they're big IPs. The Harry Potter series that is supposed to be coming out, the Monster verses, Game of Thrones, anything that they had in the works with with George, that's still going. Anything superfluous is going to get cut. And again, I don't know how this is going to affect TNT and TBS because apparently that's not part of of the deal. So do those get bought out by other streaming services? I have no clue.
They're
hmm.
probably self sufficient enough. They don't have to be, kind of like the Discovery thing went. Padawannabe is talking up that it's step us to get access to that gaming. That's definitely a
Yeah.
big part, sure, and expand that market for sure. I think. And there is a director's cut of Rebel Moon. I'm not watching that, just so you know, Padawannabe. I appreciate the recommend. I appreciate the love.
You know who
No.
Ironcaster can go back on. It's fun to watch Pop suffer mode, which is exactly where he's going. He's scratching his beard and everything. No,
no, no,
I'm not doing
you know who does love Rebel Moon?
it.
32
Iron
Flames of Nick Weiser. In fact, I make sure to I like to I want to help everyone know that Nick Weiser loves Rebel Moon, and that anytime you see Rebel Moon talked about on social media, be sure to tag him.
Oh,
It's a cruel man. He really, really is. This is a cruel man.
that's
No, no, I am the most benevolent and kind of friends.
So you're gonna get yourself kicked out for lying. All right. Uh, okay.
I'm
We
thinking about people.
I glossed over it quickly, but I definitely want to give some. Throw it out there for you guys to help. What about Harry Potter? We haven't
that's
talked about Harry Potter and all this. That's a
I
massive part of all this.
I'm actually surprised. I am actually surprised that Universal Comcast did not make a stronger bid for Warner Brothers because with their theme parks, that would put everything under them now.
Uh, yeah, but I mean, I'm not sure how much cash they have either. I mean, so again, surprised that
Um,
some of those still exist, but they made bids. They tried.
Right.
So
Do the owns all the rights? Because like I was wondering if it's like a Lord of the Rings situation. Because if Netflix gets WB, they only get the film rights to Lord of the Rings. They don't get anything else.
Well, Warner Brothers
right,
owns the Warner Brothers owns the distribution rights.
There we
yeah,
go. Okay, so then they would just get distribution rights for the movies. The theme park
Right.
wouldn't really factor in.
The movies, the
it would be
series.
the theme parks are going to be a separate licensing deal,
Right.
similar to
I would
Universal
just
Studios has with Marvel, old Marvel
Marvel.
stuff. It's like a
Mhm.
Right.
separate little licensing deal.
I
So
just
yeah,
thought I just thought that they would like to have everything Harry Potter under their under their roof.
I would imagine that, like, yeah, it wouldn't hurt, but also just they probably rake in like a lot more money than any of us can imagine with
On the
just
theme
the theme
parks.
park alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, in the grand scheme, like, just having the film distribution rights doesn't really make enough of a difference.
Well,
right.
now, yeah, right now, and
It's
then
access.
and then the series as well. Probably. Ew, ew, ew.
You guys are killing me. Uh, yeah. I have to
Um,
be honest with the
I think
golden age of comics
Bex.
coming to public domain very, very soon, the next 10, 15 years. It is interesting to see WB get a big cash check right before. So they're
Yeah,
almost getting a bailout check before a bunch of the
almost.
key
Yeah,
stuff starts to move in that direction. So, just
basically.
saying.
real quick, I've gotta go, unfortunately.
Hmm.
I don't have scissors with me, but I am imitate. That's
There you
my
go.
that's my scissor noise. Thank you for having me, Pops. It was nice to be on a stream with you again. I very much I miss
It's
conversing with you.
always, and yeah, yeah. Let me know when you get together again, especially in January. Let's set something now. Let me know a day that would work for you.
Oh, I will be in Florida from the 7th to the 28th, and
Wow.
I will be in Central Florida on the 20th, but I don't know how much freedom I have that day because we're going to spend the day with husband's my mother-in-law on her side of the family.
Well, you can message me. We could always meet you on the drive there and back or something.
That's
Meet you
true,
That'd
off.
but
be
I
Meet
will be very close to you. Like I'll be like 15-minute drive away from you.
you. Yeah. Like you said,
all
like
right.
there's a restaurant off an interstate or something, and whatever. Who knows? Just we'll get together and have a quick little bite to eat or something. Who knows?
All right, sounds good.
All
All
right.
right,
Are
good
I'd
you
to
If we
take.
see
can't do
all of
that,
you.
if
are
we
you
can't do
making the
that,
trip
there's
to
always Wild
Vegas?
Wild West.
No.
Yeah, she's gonna message me if she can do Wawa West in January. She'll just send me a day, then we'll make it happen. Maybe not on Talk Hard, but maybe separate from Talk. I'm not sure I could ask that of Loki. That's an awful big ask. Oof.
All right, take it easy, fellas.
Bye,
Have a
Bye,
good
Vex.
Bex.
weekend.
Bye.
Yeah, I have left-handed scissors because I'm left-handed. So
I
yes,
used to
Pat
have
ought to
left
be.
hand. I
Lefty.
Yeah,
used to have
yeah.
I'm a
Ironcaster's
lefty.
left-handed too. Yeah,
Likewise.
left. Yeah, Joker is too. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, guys, I appreciate you guys hopping in and talking to me about this. I will tell you that it was kind of a shocking story because I didn't. I mean, I know it was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen, but it also is one of those things where, man, it hit me hard today. Like MGM's kind of gone. It doesn't really exist. Obviously, Disney just ignores half of its library it bought from Fox. They don't know what they're doing over there. Is that what's going to happen with Warner and my beloved Batman and DC Comics? Is it all just what? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting. It just feels like they got a nice big fat check right before this crap heads to public domain, sold it to a company that doesn't really do publishing. Just feels like the beginning of the end of something that was cherished by me for so long in my life. Yeah, that's all. That's how
Well,
I felt.
and then
So.
And then on top of that, they also have other catalogs, and not just their own. Because just kind of a little bit of Google food that I had to resort to today because kind of had breaking news is some of the catalogs like they own a sizable portion of the MGM catalog.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, the
uh
MGM catalog was kind of split up. So yeah, they got a piece of it. Yeah.
386. Plus, they have a massive music catalog too.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. Joker, thank you for much. He by the way, folks, he did clarify for me personally that the old uh tell everybody what you said there in the private chat about the Stranger Things Broadway show
Yeah, so it's called The First Shadow, and it's set in 1959 Hawkins in in Indiana. So this is pre Stranger Things, and it's a Broadway show, and it started out. It first hit the stage in 2023, and I'm actually been seeing commercials of it, so it may be starting to tour. I've been seeing ads for it on Netflix.
Interesting. Interesting indeed. So, folks, I will go back and edit this description tomorrow. Make sure I got all these wonderful people's links in that description so you can check everybody out. You can go over and leave your comments with Ironcaster about your thoughts on Wild Wild West and all the other craziness that he's
No,
brought to the forefront as well. So,
Selma Hayek.
yeah, interesting day. Interesting day. We talked about it. Yeah. So, yeah, somehow I know giant spider. Oh, it just still makes me laugh on the inside. It's insane. So,
The
gentlemen,
giant
thanks for hanging
saw
out with
blade
me,
neck
man.
piece.
Stop it.
Yeah, oh man, there's just so many things that were in the movie. It's like, what is happening? Then, again, you have to remember in real time, we didn't know the spider story and we just didn't know. It came out later. So the fact that its legacy was kind of drawn out over time. So yeah. But yeah, folks, super cool to hang out with you guys live for a minute. Again, let me just say thank you to everybody been supportive of
Of
this channel
course.
for so long. It's been so blessed in especially the last 12 months, man. It's been crazy. Shot past 4,000 subscribers. Now looking at staring at 3 million views probably by the end of the year, right in
Mm-hmm.
January. So kind of blows my mind that this is like a different thing quickly. And the algorithm is not my friend. And it's
No.
weird how much stuff that's older is getting eyes. And that is really cool to me. That is makes it all worthwhile. Like, I mean, art talk hard. Ironcaster, our talk hard on Johnny Dangerously is still rocking and rolling every month. People checking it out. I'm like, that is super cool. And Joker, you were with us back in the day. We were talking about Dread and some of these great,
Yes.
and those shows they're getting eyes, and that's nice, man. That
That's
makes it feel what you're doing matters, and not in the now, just over time, and that's makes this all worthwhile. So
Well, I think what makes certain movies like that really work is just the fact that they were these kind of be kind of under the radar titles that just saw so much repetitious play on TV. So many people might recognize these things and say like, oh yeah, this they used to play this on TV all the time. Like, and to that end, I feel like we should probably get around to look at a couple of other movies that also did that, like Zoolander, for example, that or Ghostbusters 2. I know those used to get air all the time on like Comedy Central.
right, yeah, Zoolander I think is on the to do list at some point. It's our schedule's jam packed full of stuff. So yeah, yeah. But guys, thank you so much for being my friends in this journey, man. It's
of
you guys
course.
just it's awesome. And all you in chat, these wonderful comments, people showing up, hanging out. Vex, thank you. Love you, lady. And you guys are amazing. And I appreciate it all. It's made a lot of fun. And we'll see where we kind of planted
Oh,
our flag on this news story and such.
stop! You're making a clown blush.
It's all worth it. It's all worth it. Well, you guys take care. And yeah, let me go back to a little old school outro. This is a fun one. Throw the music in there and have some fun with this one. So you guys take care.
Toodles.
Thank you for tuning